All right, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? It's Brian Forbes, and this is the Black Factor. And it's time to get it in, y'all. Producer, kill that fan for me, darling. Please, thank you very much. Y'all, let me welcome my Black Factor family. Thank y'all for coming in and tuning in tonight because we're going to talk about some stuff that might get your feathers ruffled. Then again, we'll see what happens. You just never know because everybody's priorities are just a little different. You never can tell. Let me start by saying welcome. Do not forget to go over to the YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. If you're on Facebook, welcome. If you're on Twitch, welcome. If you're on Twitter, welcome. Y'all don't forget, you got to support black media. That's what this is all about. Let me welcome my Oh So Smooth radio family. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. That's the simulcast people over there at with my man Shorty Smooth. You can get that download for your phone at the Play Store or at iTunes so that you can listen in to these shows and these different things that are going on without even watching. Imagine that. Anyway, y'all, tonight we got to talk about some things. It's been a minute since we kind of got into some black issues. But tonight we got to get into a couple of them. We gotta talk about some things, y'all. We gotta talk about a few issues, some problems, some stuff that's going on in the world. You ready over there? I got help this evening, y'all. We got Hey Denise, how you doing? Thank you for tuning in, dear. I got my co-host / producer in the building tonight. She gonna help me out because we're going to talk about these stories and get into what's happening now. So, right quick, you were telling me about this Russell Westbrook
okay, so
microphone.
So there's been a tussle online about this has been going on for years. So, do you know who the singer Sierra is?
Right.
Okay, you remember Sierra? Okay,
right.
So Russell Wilson is the quarterback.
Russell Wilson. Okay,
yeah, Russell Wilson.
I said Westbrook.
He's an NFL player. He's for years
Right.
he's played for the Seahawks in
Right.
Seattle. So Sierra's first child is by this rapper Future, which you may or may not know.
I know who Future is. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
I think I just got called old, y'all. Hold on.
Well, I know you don't like that kind of music, so you know. So anyway, her father of her first child is Future.
Her baby daddy.
Yes, her baby daddy is Future, and then so she ended up dating Russell Wilson, and they got married, and they've had like 3 more kids since then.
Okay.
And so this always causes this debate because people are like, Russell Wilson's a square, like he's a cornball, he's goofy, like. So there was a recent video of this ex-NFL player. I'm not sure what his name is. Anyway, he gets on this podcast to talk about how women really aren't into Russell Wilson types, aka men who pay their bills and take care of their children and don't create broken homes.
Is that right?
So he said that women prefer men like Future over men like Russell
The bad
Wilson.
boy. So that's the typical bad boy ideology. Like
like they don't like the nice guy, even though she's had 3 kids with a nice guy and she's been married and seems like quite happy.
Well, I mean, they're still together, right?
Yeah,
Is this a happy marriage?
Yeah.
Then why is anybody complaining?
Well, because this has been an ongoing, like, the men, especially like the black men online, they'll be like, Future is their king. So I feel like that
Future's the king.
And I feel like, Russell Wilson is threatening to these types of people, these types of men, because they don't want to take care of their children and they'd rather like lay up on the internet and complain.
So in other words, he's appealing to those lesser male species who don't want to do the right thing.
Yes, Future has created 7 broken homes and told his children that they need to understand that he's an entertainer, so he can't always be there.
Is that right? And so in other words, so this is like kind of the up is down and black is white. And so in other words, we're talking about a society, a situation where here's a man doing all the right things and he's getting clowned for it. But the guy who has done everything seemingly backwards is the one being praised.
Gives a bunch of strippers and like crazy women. Like,
well, this is the society that we live in now, isn't it?
Yes. Also, I want to ask you a question. So apparently, Turkey Hut is charging for deposits now. Now I know you tried to get a turkey leg from the turkey leg.
Someone says that's how the open relationship when you're a rich elitist in Hollywood. And by the way, this person's name on here is George Floyd deserved it. White lives matter more.
I think we're gonna have to do the block ministry.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna block this
block
person.
ministry for
Well,
sure.
You gotta go. you can't be on here with that. No, we're not having that, sir.
You know, we have Black Lives
Anyway,
Matter in the title.
Right. White Lives Matter. Troll. Okay. Anyway.
So let's
oh my goodness.
move to the next topic.
Yeah.
The turkey leg hut is now requiring $100 deposit via
What?
Cash App, and you have to sign a contract to book a reservation. So how do you feel about this?
Turkey leg hut in Houston?
Yes.
Are you kidding me? Wait a minute. Say that again. Repeat that. Hold on.
It says, wait, I can't zoom in on it. I saw this earlier though, so the long and the short of it, you have to have $100 deposit via
For a
Cash
fast
App.
food restaurant.
Yes, for the turkey leg hut, the famous turkey leg hut in Houston.
$100 cash deposit.
And a contract to book a reservation.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no. They're either going to have to open up some more restaurants or they're going to lose a ton of business.
I'm thinking it's because they just are
now,
too busy.
Even though I wanted to go there, I've always wanted to go there, it doesn't look like I'm going to make it. Because I'm definitely not doing all of that for some fast food. For no food, as a matter of fact.
Now, this has come shortly after they put that dress code policy in place.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And everyone was mad about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you've never been to the Turkey Leg Hut in Houston, let me tell you, those turkey legs are supposed to be some of the best eating you're going to get for some states over. And it's famous. And in fact, when you go there in the morning, when they first open up, the line wraps around the block. Not around the corner, around the block. They're dead serious, and they are absolutely phenomenal. From what I understand, I have not had the fortune to be able to get any simply for that.
You didn't want to stand in line 3 hours for a turkey
I'm not standing
leg?
in no line for a turkey leg. I'm sorry. So next on our agenda here, we're going to cover the.
Oh yes.
Okay. I think we should cover the BLM situation.
Okay, yeah.
First.
The Black Lives Matter chaos.
Black Lives Matter, y'all. Look, here's the deal. As much as I love supporting my folks, as much as we try not to get too far out of pocket and we try to, support each other, there's some people out here that make it a little bit difficult. And it has gotten, from what I can tell.
I have to interrupt. We have a producer comment.
Uh-oh.
Apparently the title is...
The title is what?
Is it that it says something?
It's what?
It says Jada Pinkett was
Does it? I changed it. Oh, okay. Let me fix that.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Uh-oh. Well, we need to...
Sorry, everyone.
No, you did right. Let me
Right,
see.
because it's like, not again, Lord.
Right.
Not again.
Let's get this correct here. Okay. All right. Producer lady, I need you to go in right quick and correct, or better yet, I can do it.
I can't do it from this computer.
I got it.
Okay.
So, and in the meantime...
Yes.
So, apparently, Black Lives Matter...
It's under fire.
Is under fire.
Again.
Again.
Yet again.
For creating a situation... Okay, it did switch on. It did switch. Uh-oh. It did switch on the on YouTube. So Black Lives Matter is under fire again, y'all, as she said, again, because apparently they have taken it upon themselves to go out and purchase mansions. Very large.
You know what? You could just delete the end of that title.
What?
We're just like how it says, just put like plus Mason, Tennessee, like how it's I know we're just.
Well, we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it.
Okay, because it's too. I just say it's too long, so it's not even showing the whole thing.
Yeah, no, we'll deal with it later. Right now.
Okay.
So Black Lives Matter, y'all, is under fire for spending your donations on luxury mansions. Apparently, not your donations. You didn't donate. Come on now, you didn't donate to BLM. What's really going on?
But that's because I have no money to donate.
Why not?
So
You don't
I
like
have
BLM?
it.
Hold on. What's the problem?
I'm not talking to you.
Okay, but
You
you can't come in here doing that.
Can't
You
nobody hear me?
Oh my goodness.
Well,
You see, y'all see what I got to deal with?
What do you say? Me not to say that I didn't say that.
Okay.
But even if I did, why does it matter?
Okay.
What did she say? What's the problem?
Don't say nothing.
What?
Y'all on air, right?
Yes, we're
Yes.
on air. You came in here with it. We want to know what you're talking about.
Listen to what I said. That's all. It was a comment for Taylor.
But
Oh, I'm sorry, sister.
All right, I'll switch the title.
Yeah.
it doesn't
Okay,
even
I'm going
matter
down
anymore, you know. Just,
Yeah, right.
And
You
just
know,
everything is off the rails.
good grief.
because-
Right, we just completely. We are off the rails at Black. Listen to me at Black Lives Matter. At the Black Factor, y'all. Let's go. All right, so listen. Here's the deal, y'all. Here's the deal. Black Lives Matter. Under fire, y'all. Under fire, why? Well, we're going to get down to these points right here, right quick. Apparently, according to the Daily Mail, they've obtained photos of the luxurious 7-bedroom, 6,500 square foot, $6 million Los Angeles mansion reportedly bought with Black Lives Matter donations. Ladies and gentlemen, how do we feel about that? J.R. Russell says, "Sup, Brian? BLM shaking us down again." Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
He said again. See, this is an ongoing situation.
Oh, so what
Now,
does
as mu-
JR know that we don't know?
See,
Say
well,
so-
I mean, the thing is, well, you know, you want to support these sorts of, well, an organization like BLM because you think that it works in the best interest of the furthering of justice for black people. Unfortunately, they are under, and anytime you do something like this, you're going to be under scrutiny anyway.
Of course.
But they are under even more scrutiny because they have decided to spend what is being donated money on mansions. Pictures inside the grand home reveal colonial features: a pool, tree-lined yard, outdoor fireplace, a butler's pantry, its own mini filming studio, 2 separate buildings along the main house. And the home has been dubbed the campus by BLM executives and was purchased by Dane Pascal in October of 2020 in cash, y'all, according to a New York Magazine report published Monday. Emails show the firm wanted to keep the purchase secret despite filming a video on the home's patio in May. The news comes as the foundation faces federal scrutiny for alleged misuse of donated funds and comes on the heels of criticism of co-founder Patrisse Cullors. Cullors, 38, came under fire last year for a slew of high-profile property purchases. She resigned last May after facing a backlash from critics and supporters. Earlier this year, it was revealed that the charity is also now in delinquent status for failing to file its annual financial reports and hasn't had anyone in charge of its finances since her resignation. Huh.
Well,
And just think, y'all, these are the things, people donate money in good faith, hoping that the money is going to be used for the purposes of, things like lawyers, things like advertisement, things that are going to benefit people who are going through things. Let's see. Black Lives Matter activists are accused of spending donation money to live in the lap of luxury. That's according to New York Magazine. In an interview from last year, the trio of BLM founders can be found reflecting on a year of activism after the murder of George Floyd and the nationwide protests. And in the interview, they appear to be sitting in a mansion.
that's the mansion you already mentioned. So,
6,500 square feet and a 20-car garage.
so it's supposed to be an influencer content creator mansion. That's what the spokespeople.
That's what they're
said.
calling it.
And in theory, that would be fine if there were not multiple incidents of real estate being revealed, very expensive real estate being revealed to be purchased.
Well, it says here, a BLM GNF board member said that the organization bought campus, that's what they call it, with the intention for it to serve as housing and studio space for recipients of the Black Joy Creators Fellowship. The fellowship, which provides recording resources and dedicated space for black creatives to launch content online and in real life, focused on abolition, healing justice, urban agriculture, and food justice, pop culture, activism, and politics, and was announced the following morning. Now, according to this, they raked in $90 million in 2020, allegedly spurned and brought on by the George Floyd protests. 90 million.
That's a lot of money.
And where have we, do we have any receipts for anything being put back into the community?
Now last that came up was that there was some receipts of like what they spent their money on in 2020, and most of those organizations were not how should we say, were not organizations that they claim to be advertising to supporting, if that makes sense. Like
Okay, so Dennis McCullum says, Goodwill, hey cuz, United Way, Red Cross, all have done these purchases with donations from donors by their CEOs.
yeah. Well, now, so I'm fine with this California mansion incident, but there's other incidents.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to that yet.
Yeah, there are.
And
other
let me
incidents.
also say this too though. Here's where I take difference in this. I don't, I guess, disagree with them being able to appropriate donated funds in the ways that they deem necessary, especially in a case like this, because of what it's supposed to represent. However, the difference to me between Goodwill, United Way, and the Red Cross. Now, Goodwill is for for people to basically, we donate stuff to Goodwill. Goodwill then in turn turns that stuff into liquid money, and that liquid money goes to benefit. And I've seen Goodwill programs at work. As a matter of fact, I was at the Goodwill today looking for a bag to carry something in, which I did find, and I spent $5 for the bag. but while I was there, the parking lot had 3 18-wheelers out there, and they were giving CDL classes to some people who were trying to better their lives.
Yeah.
Along with, they provide an awful lot of jobs to people in the communities, and I could go on about some of the other things that I know for a fact Goodwill places money toward. Red Cross. Right now, if you look at the news and you watch what's happening in Ukraine, you see the Red Cross over there transporting people out of these war zones and doing that work. No problem. United Way. Now, the United Way, maybe not so much. I don't know. But my point is this. Where do we see the money at work from the donations of BLM in the community or elsewhere? Because if they're making this big a noise about these mansions, where's that other money going? That's what I want to know. Where is it? J.R. Russell said the audacity after the first CEO resigned for the alleged misappropriation. She must have left notes for Bebe and them. The white folks going to have a field day with this news. What do you have to say?
I just wanted to say, Goodwill, not only do they have truck driving school where they go for free, they supply your job interview clothes.
Go to that microphone.
Can't nobody see me, right?
Okay, hey. Hi, everyone. I just wanted to say with Goodwill, they have contracts where they get military jobs. They have job placement for people getting out of prison. They have job placement for young mothers. They have a center where they help you with resumes at Goodwill. Free truck driving school. Free job training as far as teaching you typing, Excel.
And somebody made the point of saying even with felons.
Yes.
And people who have coming off addiction situations.
Yes.
So we don't need to get into the whole
people
the
as
Goodwill resume, but the point is that we see that money going to work. We see the donations being translated into something.
So even if the CEOs were dipping a little bit, at least they are putting something back in the community to help people.
Right.
Now, if people
And I
don't
don't
take
think
advantage
anybody
of the
would-
services, that's on them.
I don't think anybody would complain about BLM buying a $6 million mansion, especially if they brought in $90 million, provided we saw the money going in other directions within the community to help to benefit some of these situations. Are they putting money toward? I mean, like, y'all know just today, as a matter of fact, they decided not to file charges against the police officers who did the no-knock warrant and shot the boy in the apartment.
Oh, in Minnesota?
Yeah, in Minnesota.
But Minnesota did say, it's some new thing. They can't do no
knocks.
And it has to be at a certain time, or what was it? It was like after a certain hour, they have to give people 3 minutes or something.
Now, Dennis McCullum then says, but does that make it right? BLM needs to get an agenda for what their programs will do for the community.
Well, they
I
have
agree.
an agenda.
They have
an agenda. It's just not what they are claiming the agenda is
What do you mean?
In my
They're not
opinion.
claiming.
Well, we can get to when we get down the notes, so we can,
Okay.
we can get
Okay. Yeah.
down-
Let's move on.
or we
from,
can just skip to there right now. You know, whichever.
Okay.
'Cause they got an agenda. All right.
Let's see. So in 2021, in a separate incident, the BLM co-founder Patrice Cullors stepped down shortly after it was revealed that she purchased 4 homes totaling over $3 million, but she says she was planning on stepping down anyway. In 2022, it was revealed that from Black Lives Matter Global Foundation Network was also accused of transferring millions of dollars to Canadian-based charity M4BJ to buy the mansion for the equivalent of $6.3 million in cash in Canada.
What?
M4BJ is ran by a woman named Janaea Khan, who is Patrice Cullors' wife. Come on now, y'all.
Wow.
Come on.
And it's like, you know,
Them
people be-
shenanigans right there. I don't care how you slice that.
For?
Well, that one apparently
You know,
used to be.
most Americans' wealth is in real estate. I mean, think
And they
about
Okay,
it.
is it 4 houses for?
Who knows what they for?
Yeah,
The
that's-
point is, I mean, she gave an explanation for the mansion in California. And I say this again. If money was seen going into the community, would we be making any noise at all?
I don't think people would care.
Nobody would care if you went and bought a $6 million mansion. If $10 million or $20 million had gone into a community where we could see a program working or something that was putting black folks to work or
Right.
anything,
It's
something
still-
dealing with the justice system.
Kids still didn't even have tablets while they were out during COVID.
Yeah.
They could have bought them.
Orlando Hill said Goodwill in Tennessee just announced today they now offer to help get people high school degrees and all that job offers also. Yeah, see? So
Yeah, especially
in
the South.
2021, Tamir Rice's mom, Samira Rice's mother, called out Black Lives Matter activists, including Patrice Cullors, by name for profiting off the death of black men without giving anything back. Now, come on.
And
They could have
now,
paid some bail
And
money.
you think
Wait,
about
that-
it, all of the monies that were donated on behalf of the fact that it was a black justice
Stopping
thing. And every
police
time,
brutality.
right, and to stop police brutality. And every time some black person is murdered by the police and BLM shows up,
or their represent,
or
yeah,
their representatives, or
represent-
even people who have co-opted it, because we do know that quite a few people have co-opted BLM. I'll never forget when we were watching some of those riots, and the white girl was out there spraying BLM on a building,
Yeah.
claiming that they told her to do it.
And you-
Yeah, they're the same. This younger generation with the BLM, that the younger generation wanted somebody to speak up for them because they had a problem with Jesse Jackson and Sharpton. But I don't think they got caught up with anything like this craziness.
Well, You doing it in the
No, they
microphone.
haven't.
You could just repeat it. For me.
Yeah.
No,
Because we were going to talk about
Right,
that
we're gonna
anyway.
get to that
you
part,
brought up
actually.
a point that we
Yeah.
are going to get to.
a quote from the article from Samir Rice and Lisa Simpson. We never hired them to be the representatives in the fight for justice for our dead loved ones murdered by the police, both mothers said in a joint statement. The activists have events in our cities and have not given us anything substantial for using our loved ones' images and names on their flyers, Rice added. In the case of Tamir Rice, it was even questionable as to whether Benjamin Crump knew the laws in depth in the state of Ohio. I fired him 6 to 8 months into Tamir Rice's case. In 2021, BLM leaders were called out, yet out of 30 charities, they gave money to 23. Wait a minute. Out of 30 charities that BLM gave money to, 23 were focused on black LGBTQ matters, which there's nothing wrong with that, but they raised the money under false pretenses because that has nothing to do.
They
with-
did not say black, trans, lesbian, gay men's lives matter.
You're
I mean,
right.
I guess the point though is like, oh, all lives matter. But then again, it's like, why is I could even see it was half and half, but 23 is majority of the charities.
Well, Alicia Garza is married to a trans man, and Patrice Cullors is a lesbian. So this could explain their focus on donating to LGBTQ organizations, supposedly. Patrice and BLM leaders claim to want to end white supremacy, but happily have purchased personal property and residential property in the wealthiest white neighborhoods in the United States. Imagine that.
I mean, were there no
Well,
black towns for sale?
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
I have questions.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is what happens. This is why we run into these problems when we keep saying, "Well, why can't we be together? Why can't we help each other and do these things?" And then it's disheartening. J.R. Russell says we need better IRS enforcement. This has to qualify as unreported income by some legal tax code definition. Yeah, I don't know enough about taxes to tell you that one. But he goes on to say, why don't they declare a large salary for management oversight? They're gaming the IRS too. Yeah, probably. And I'm sure that having those large amounts of money, those large sums of donated income, that they have had to use some form of financial planning or planners in order to distribute that money or to keep themselves out of legal trouble and that sort of thing. Dennis McCullough say LBGTQ matters. Yeah, right. And I guess that's how that's gonna go.
And maybe this should have been their calling card instead of, because they did switch it up. I think originally, because there was some. Because let me just say, people. There are numerous people. I say my friends, and we have not been jiggy with like Black Lives Matter from the door. I probably spoke on that before. And it's like we agree with the premise and the ideology, but the organization itself has. And of course, because we're on social media more, and we're seeing videos that are posted from these protests. It's just been sketchy.
Yeah.
It's sketchy, and it's been a bad.
I mean, all the way back from its inception, from back with Brown, in Missouri, in Ferguson. I mean, there have been. It bothers me when we get behind these movements and we get behind these ideas and we want for things to change, and then we shoot ourselves in the foot before anybody else gets a chance to do it. That's an issue for me. I ain't gonna lie, I got a problem with that. But anyway.
And then one more thing. Now maybe early housing purchases to escape some taxes. Could that be, trying to get rid of...
You're not gonna escape no taxes by buying property.
Well, they're also a nonprofit, so I guess that doesn't work the same.
Yeah,
for them.
no, because they're a nonprofit organization, so they're not. They don't have to. They're not faced with the same. Tax. What do they call it? The same tax code, but they don't have to worry about capital gains and all that kind of stuff. They ain't,
It's
I mean, it would be like a church taking,
right,
people's money every Sunday, and then pastor going and buying them a mansion, you know what I'm saying, a Rolls Royce, and can't be touched.
They
Same,
do
same
that.
difference, same thing, same exemption, Well, and then that brings me to the next financial bit of news, the financially disturbing news. Mason, Tennessee. How much do y'all know about Mason, Tennessee, y'all? This is a little place not far from Memphis, Tennessee. And see, Dennis McCullum said, right, let's get right quick. He said BLM needs to state their mission statement before even taking on donations. Dennis, they've done that. They do have mission statements out there. You can look them up.
On their website now, it does say that they are an organization. I do believe that's supporting immigration and trans lives. That is what it says now.
Yeah, and it has nothing to do really, essentially, with
I don't know what it
Black
says.
Lives Matter and all.
Yeah,
it
doesn't.
It does. I've seen it, and I don't recall it saying anything having to do with justice for Black folks.
But see, that's what I'm saying. They are misleading people, and there's a bit of a smoke screen there, and that could be a whole separate. I know we have to move on to the topics.
No, we cool. Just make sure you use the microphone. I don't want you to.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, I feel like the Black Lives Matter organization has been misleading people to collect donations. And I agree with what Dennis is saying. They do need to state their mission, but I feel like they know if they state what their mission statement says, they know people aren't going to check their website, and they're not checking the background, and they know anytime anyone
don't read
criticizes them, because they show up saying, "Oh yeah, we're out here protesting police brutality and injustice against Black people," but then when it's time to dole out the money they've donated, it's going into the founders' pockets, and it's going to a lot of LGBTQ organizations, which again, fine, but don't mislead people when you're fundraising. That's like that. What's his name? Sean White or whatever. He's like another one of these people that has come up in this Black Lives Matter era. And honestly, I don't even know a lot of black people that support these organizations. I really think it's more of like corporations and
I can't repeat that.
no, we can't say that.
I can't. J.R. Russell, you funny. That's a good one though. I can't repeat that. Anyway.
Oh, no. So, and you know what? It is fine if they want to donate, but they should have made that their mission statement, like Dennis said, but they don't do that because I think they know that they are raising money off some stuff that really is a problem and misleading folks. That's my beef, and it's been my beef with them for years. And I have, if you say anything against them, like you get dragged. Like I have gotten into arguments with my own friends about this, but luckily most of us are not with it. Like we've seen, they're grifters. Like they're grifters. They're scheming and scamming. And the NAACP is a bunch of grifters now as well, but that's a different topic.
Okay, well, fortunately, the NAACP is involved in this next story.
Oh,
And-
at least they still show up sometimes to help. At least
Hey,
they
I'm not
actually-
having that out of you millennials. Stop it.
At least, hey, it's fine. They were founded under rainbow principles to begin with. So.
Yeah, well,
They didn't mislead anybody, that's for sure.
Dennis said they're operating with a broad brush. Yes.
Yes, they misleading the public.
So, in the NAACP, however, since they have come up in this topic, are a part of this next story. Now, Mason, Tennessee, y'all. If you don't know nothing about Mason, Tennessee, it's not far from Memphis, Tennessee. However, let me start by saying this. Over the last 150 years or so, free black people have been forcibly removed from property, land, and all sorts of other things of that nature where property is concerned through, fuzzy math, violence, murder. And there have been very little to no repercussions for it, historically speaking. None of the atrocities levied against black skin in prosperous communities have gone checked. So, African Americans, black folks, have been violently expelled from at least 50
Negroes.
towns and cities and counties in the United States. The majority of these expulsions occurred in the 60 years following the Civil War, but continued to occur until 1954. The justifications for the expulsions varied, but often involved crime allegedly committed by an African American, labor-related issues, or property takeovers. Violent white aggression to which school systems today refuse to acknowledge in part when they denounce and even attempt to be offended by the introduction or instruction of critical race theory, because it forces them to face their
Not this
violent,
again.
relentless, and horrific past and present
This fake critical
treatment
race.
of people with the commonality of black skin.
Are
Not
you
again.
reading this from the article?
What do you mean reading from the article? No, I wrote this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now I feel bad. Well, this show continues to go off the rails.
Off the rails again.
Okay. Well, you know
So
what?
even today, there are attempts to manipulate and control black populations and municipalities, especially those that prosper or have inevitable opportunity to prosper. According to MSNBC News, y'all, the Tennessee Comptroller. Now, before I go any further, let me give an explanation for what a comptroller is, because unfortunately, we have a lot of people. For those of you smart folks, y'all just bear with me. And for those who just aren't aware, let me put these statements out here. And I do this because we lack civics in our society these days, and so I have to put certain
My
things
public
out there so
school
we
was
can make sure.
underfunded.
Yes, these
I'm
defunded public schools. A comptroller in the United States is a high-level executive that oversees the accounting tasks and financial reporting procedures of organizations. The comptroller oversees all accounting, including accounts receivable, payroll, and loan transactions. Now, that's somebody that basically for the state, a state comptroller keeps up with what's happening in all the little municipalities and cities. Well, the state comptroller in Tennessee, Jason Mumpower, that's a strange name, a white Republican, took a step back Tuesday from his racist plan to essentially erase from the map Mason, Tennessee, a predominantly black town of about 1,500. Accusing Mason of 20 years of financial mismanagement, Mumpower threatened to block town leaders from spending more than $100 without his say-so.
More than 100. Now,
And
mind
spent
you, They said that the people that were in power there were not the local town though. Like it was like white people that did the mismanagement for the
Well,
last
we're gonna
20
get to
years.
that.
Oh, okay. Let me just throw that. Okay, go ahead. I'll be quiet.
Okay. So in other words, he said, they can't spend no more than $100 without his approval. That's what he was trying to do. He sent that to property owners in town in a letter arguing that the government was not working in Mason. In my opinion, it's time for Mason to relinquish its charter, he said. So he wants to remove an entire town and its jurisdiction. Amazing. Tennessee law allows for the Comptroller's office to take financial control over municipalities it deems fiscally irresponsible, but a spokesman for that office said it was unprecedented for us to publicly call for a town charter to be relinquished. For at least 20 years, Mason has been poorly managed, regardless of who was leading the town. A March 17 news release from the Comptroller's office said Comptroller Jason Mumford believes Mason citizens and taxpayers deserve an accountable government that is capable of providing services and improvements to the community. Like he really cares. All of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
All of Mason's leadership was white until 2016.
That's crazy.
That don't add up to 20 years. Up to 2016.
Yeah.
Now the mayor, vice mayor, and all but one of the 6 aldermen are black.
Oh, now you wanna.
Now
now
it's starting to jail.
Oh, now it's problematic that the
okay.
town exists. Okay.
Mason is 60% black and heavily Democratic. If the city is disbanded, residents will only belong to Tipton County, where 75% of residents are white and 71% voted Republican in the 2020 presidential election. And to think I almost bought property in Tipton County when I lived in Tennessee. Mason was founded in 1869 and is home to many whose ancestors were enslaved in the area. Since the Civil War, black communities, in similar fashion to the indigenous communities before them, have been destroyed with a range of methods including violence, dishonest legal maneuvering, and even the construction of freeways. Now, remember the show we did about the interstate system and how they use the freeways to run through communities and destroy what was happening? Yeah, this goes back to that all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Only recently was the beachfront property in Manhattan Beach, California, which was taken from Willa and Charles Bruce in 1924 through eminent domain, returned. The Manhattan Beach City Council passed Ordinance 263, claiming eminent domain for a public park in order to take the properties owned by black residents and eliminate the African American resort, Bruce's Beach. The property has since been returned. Now that's an interesting. They said they wanted the property for parks or something like that, and then they turned around, and it remained empty until 1945, and then the state took it over. So the governor last year signed it back over to the family. Now this just shows you how they can get down how they want to. Dennis McCullum says, was this called under the disguise of eminent domain? Yes. Okay, now, while the situation in Mason is a little different, it was still an attempted takeover for that which belongs to black folks. If the problem goes back 20 years, town officials say, why didn't the Comptroller's office try to take over the town when white people were responsible for financial management?
Questions that need answers.
Questions that need answering.
QT&A.
Imagine that. Or before the predominantly, here's the important part, y'all pay attention. Or before the predominantly black town stood to make millions in revenue from a new neighbor. Who's the new neighbor, y'all? Ford. Ford announced its plan to make one of the country's largest manufacturing investments in a new town near Mason called Blue Oval City. Imagine that. Suddenly, they got a problem with the finances in Mason because Ford announced they're about to put a huge
Electric
plant
company.
to build electric trucks.
And I think where this is also important is just because like electric is the wave.
It's what's happening.
It's the wave.
Okay.
So so Mason could be like Detroit was, basically.
That's right. Given Mason's proximity to the planned Ford plant and the fact that a highway and railroad to the plant pass through town, there's no way Mason won't prosper and grow, Rivers said last week. And now they want to take it away from us. The Ford plant and battery manufacturing, by the way, they're also putting a battery manufacturer there.
Now, let us sidebar because how here in Texas, Temple and was it Taylor are getting
Temple
chip
and
factories.
Taylor are getting chip factories. Yep.
And Arizona has a bunch of like electric now because Arizona was an empty flyover state as well, but they've gotten a bunch of tech hubs, and they've gotten the electric vehicle, like a bunch of electric vehicle companies have relocated there or are starting up there. And now we see Nashville is like on and popping.
Yep. Yeah,
like,
Nashville is cracking.
It's five. You can't touch a house for under like $400,000.
That's
and we
insane.
talking about like a townhouse.
That's nuts.
Like, could you imagine Nashville?
That's crazy.
Nashville of all. It's the one that told you 20 years ago that
I'd
Nashville's
have bought everything up there if I knew they was gonna do it like this.
So Memphis, in theory, could get blow over.
I
theory,
believe it's going to.
From Mason, just because it's the next biggest city.
I believe that it's
Mason.
going to. Let's see.
Yeah, no,
It is.
And a lot of Tennessee and Mississippi is majority black. Like, you wouldn't know it, but like a lot of the towns, that Arkansas, that region down there, they're majority black cities. And of course, the one thing impacting all of this always is like money.
Poppy asked, how far is Mason from Memphis? It is 42.1 miles, which means that there are going to be a ton of people from Memphis working those jobs or finding. Now think about. I'm gonna look at this map again. Think about what the property in between Mason. Okay, matter of fact, it goes straight up 40, and then off on 79. Now, if you think about it, it's just past Lakeland, Arlington. Now you think about it. All that property in between Mason and Memphis is about to go through the roof.
Could be on and pop.
No, ain't no could be. It's gonna be on and popping. It just shows.
I'm like, just
see, this
this
is investment opportunity for everybody. This is something to seriously think about. Something I got to think about. Anyway,
I told y'all Tennessee is the wave.
Yeah, you have said that. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of prosperity in that region coming up here pretty quick. So the Ford plant and battery manufacturing. The Michigan-based motor vehicle company is building a big factory that will produce F-Series electric trucks. And it's working with the South Korean company SK Innovation to build a factory to produce vehicle batteries. The total investment is an estimated $5.6 billion.
So $5.6 billion going into the western corner of Tennessee.
Into the straight country. Don't play no games.
Yeah. And I mean, what else does Tennessee have going on? I mean, Memphis has FedEx, but we know it hasn't.
I heard they're about to put a casino there soon.
Oh, Memphis
I
is
did hear that. I heard
well, which
something.
part
I don't know. Yeah, don't get me the line. They probably put it down there on Mississippi.
We're gonna have this conversation off the
right.
camera.
Okay, the truck plant is expected to employ more than 3,200 people, and the battery factory about 2,500 more people.
How many people?
Altogether, 5,800.
Okay, so 5,800 jobs. Now, also, it makes me wonder, like, what industries will sprawl out of this.
Exactly, and I was about to say, there are going to be a ton of spinoffs, because you got to think about it. Just like how in Detroit and all around the whole what they call Rust Belt, Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, that whole region manufactures, and even into Canada, that whole region manufactures peripheral parts for cars. You got companies that make seat belts. You got companies that make the paint. You got companies that make, all of the things that go into the manufacture of a vehicle, and they'll build them. That's right. All that stuff.
And everything.
There are going to be pop-up businesses that are going to come. Just that plant, the investment in that infrastructure alone is going to create so much prosperity. It's going to be insane. And of course, those people do not want to lose their charter. Let's see. Both the truck plant and the battery factory will be constructed at the Memphis Regional Mega Site, which is in Haywood County, about 50 miles northeast of downtown Memphis. It's a state-owned industrial park that was designed specifically to attract a project much like this one. Ford plans to call the new factory part Blue Oval City. Construction will likely start this year. The Tennessee factories are scheduled to start producing products in 2025. The Tennessee campus is part of the larger push by Ford into the electric vehicle infrastructure. Ford also announced Monday it's working with SK Innovation to invest $5.8 billion into 2 new vehicle battery plants in Hardin County, Kentucky. So now Kentucky's about to catch part of this too.
And now Kentucky is another. We're talking about states that haven't had like a real economy since the end of slavery.
Yep.
So
and they're getting ready to blow both
Kentucky,
of these
we
up.
know, is in shambles. It's been in shambles. I mean, Tennessee is too.
Now, also, the company said it's investing a total of $525 million nationwide to train technicians on how to service electric vehicles.
Now,
I need to get into that.
Yeah, how many jobs is that about to
exactly? Because as a technician myself, and having all the certifications that I do, this is a whole new portion of an industry that we don't even touch right now.
Yeah, because just think, like Tesla right now is the only electric vehicle.
And I'm gonna tell you something. Man. See, even Tesla has kept a lot under their belt. They're gonna have to release soon because what happens, Tesla right now, there's a black guy. I don't remember his name, but you can find him on YouTube. He is the most authoritative individual on electric technology and cars that there probably is out here. He literally buys wrecked, flooded, tore up Teslas and rebuilds them. Now Tesla wanted to sue him. They tried to. They went after him, and every time he would try to get something for a car, they would never sell him the parts, which I think actually goes against the laws in this country as it pertains to being able to service a vehicle that you bought. You shouldn't have to take it back to anybody else. If you want to work on it yourself, it's yours. And so there's been an ongoing battle with that. But this guy literally rebuilds these things. Now, the technology is going that way. There's no getting around it. This is where we're headed in this country. Period. Full stop. And when it comes down to understanding these things and how they work, see, one of the reasons Tesla said they didn't want nobody else fooling with their technology. They would make the car. They would ding the VIN number so that you couldn't take it to a Tesla shop to get worked on or nothing else. They wouldn't touch it after somebody else has done something or whatever. And as a matter of fact, my glass guy that I have that does glass in cars for me, he was telling me he worked on a Tesla one time. The car called Tesla. Car called Tesla.
Oh.
And told them that an unauthorized technician was working on it.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I'm saying that to say this. Ford is about to stand Tesla and every other electric car manufacturer on their head because they're not going to get down like that.
Yeah, Ford's got more resources.
Way more resources.
And to your point, too, like them training, like, because Ford's supposed to be like the everyday, like, everyday working person.
And let's remember now, Ford is the company that created the manufacturing plant.
Right.
See, you got to remember, people think that Ford invented the car. Ford didn't invent the car. Ford is the one who refined the ability to produce a mass amount of vehicles in a short amount of time. That's what they did. And that innovation and technology is what gives us what we have today. This is yet another Ford turn of events. This is them about to, like Della Kaysen just said on here, repeat history. Yes, they are. They're about to repeat history. So, it's coming.
Yeah, that training technicians thing alone, like with Tennessee having such a poor state, and the people tend to skew uneducated. I was like watching something about this recently. So,
they love the uneducated.
Well, they are.
The company leadership says electric vehicles are the way of the future, and they're investing heavily to make it happen. Ford about to dump the farm in there.
So Tesla, this also. Well, I'm gonna let you finish. So we'll just have a discussion.
No, go ahead.
Well, because I was just gonna say, like, Tesla, like, they're the luxury electric vehicle, but with a company like I was saying, like Ford, it's
they're getting ready to change the game.
Yeah.
Every car manufacturer today now has an electric car out, and I think GM is also killing the game. They've got that truck, that GM truck that is it's ridiculous. And I've seen the electric Cadillac. I've seen a few different.
Volvo's going all electric soon. They won't have.
Yeah, it's they're changing the game for real, for real. So how did Tennessee get this factory? The government spent millions to get the industrial site to where it needed to be in West Tennessee. Attractive. They made it attractive for big companies.
Detroit is seething.
For this very reason. And they actually got it. What'd you say?
I said Detroit is seething.
Oh yeah, oh man. You already know, because this is a game changer. Well, you know BMW, I'm sorry, Mercedes has a big plant in Alabama. Matter of fact, our truck came from that plant in Alabama. The one we had. So yeah, you got a lot of car manufacturers that have moved to the south.
Now, let my favorite YouTuber, or actually favorite, but this, they said the future is in the southern states. Like, there is no future. Like, everyone is going to move eventually.
South.
Especially, like, poor people. This is, like, the very wealthy and the poor. Like, poor people trying to get out of places like California, New York, Chicago, because they can no longer afford, because they have no skills. Like, there's nowhere, with them raising rent, like with inflation, they're talking about groceries are going up another 5 to 7%. So the southern states, you can still live somewhere $500, $600, $800, $900 a month. But in the other turn is like, these places are also attractive for companies because they're cheap. There's a lot of land. You have a workforce that has no other options.
I don't know how cheap it's going to be pretty soon.
Look at Texas.
Dennis McCullum said there's an aluminum plant in Russellville, Kentucky. I've been there before, Dennis, delivering. Owned by Alcoa. I used to work there as a computer analyst. Russellville is 60 miles north of Nashville. And also, Orlando Hill says BMW has a part in the woods of Senatobia, Mississippi. Hidden, of course. See? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're all going south, y'all. That's what's happening. South. How they say, well, South will rise again. I guess that's what they mean.
Yeah, they finally are right. It's all 300 years later. I'm joking. I think it hadn't been that long. But and not how they intended. They're probably not going to like this.
With all of that said, the NAACP is representing the majority black town in Tennessee and helped it file a lawsuit on Friday alleging that the state comptroller exceeded his authority and racially discriminated against the town in its financial dealings.
Oop.
Mason Mayor Emmett Gooden, the Board of Aldermen, and the town are accusing Jason Mumpower, Tennessee's comptroller, of the Treasury of violating the Equal Protection Clause and going beyond his authority under state and federal law as comptroller through his unlawful efforts to take over the town's finances. The comptroller's office declined to comment on the lawsuit, but has previously denied bias in the decision to oversee the town's finances. Yeah, right. They call that gaslighting.
Yeah. Especially in Tennessee. It's like, please
right,
stop.
Especially in Tennessee. We know the deal. Mumpower, who has authority over incoming and outgoing funds for the state, says he is also allowed to provide enhanced supervision over local government's finances. The suit alleges he is exceeding that power. Although the Tennessee Code allows the comptroller to review town budgets and to require municipalities to reduce expenditures or levy additional taxes, it does not appear to allow day-to-day supervision over a town's financial transactions, according to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. Counts alleged against the comptroller's office include violation of state law and violation of Equal Protection Clause and the Tennessee Constitution. The town of Mason is also seeking declaratory judgment. The NAACP Legal Defense Fund said it believes the timing of the comptroller's involvement is irrational and that the state's actions are motivated by racial discrimination, according to the letter to Mumford. The comptroller's office has only stepped in and taken control of a town's finances in 3 other instances: Van Buren County in 2020, the town of Jellicoe between 2013 and 2018, and Polk County in the 1900s. According to the Legal Defense Fund, town officials said that even with much worse financial situations than Mason, the comptroller's office never pushed them to give up their charter. Now, that's the point right there. Even in overseeing the finances of a town where there's misappropriation of funds, and has been for the last 20 years, when it wasn't all black folks, it was already screwed up when they got it.
Right.
But now all of a sudden, the timing is impeccable. Ford announces a billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar plant that's going to generate billions of dollars and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars into the local economies. And all of a sudden now they want to snatch the charter. Ain't that amazing?
What a cool.
Dennis McCullum says he wonders, does BLM donate to NAACP for the challenging these misjustices? That is a fantastic question, Dennis. I might want to know that one
I
myself.
had the list of where they donated on there.
Oh, you did? Where?
Yeah, it was on the other.
Oh, that okay.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me.
Now,
look at
I just
that
want to
then.
say this very quick. So I'm on Zillow looking around
Uh-huh.
near Mason, Tennessee, and so there was a little plot of land. Wait, where did it go? It's listed for $20 million because it's going to be right where the Ford plant is. So they're selling it for $20 million.
Huh.
And then there's another parcel of land that's $4 million. 78 acres.
Okay, Dennis, to answer your question, here is a list of people or organizations that BLM had donated to. Okra Project, TGI Justice Project, TAKE Birmingham, Trans United, Andre Lord Project, Trans, Justice, Breakout, Black Trans Circles, BLMP, Solutions Not, Punishment Coalition, Marsha P. Johnson Institute, the Transgender District, Black Trans Travel Fund, for the World, GWORLS, House of Gigi, Highlander Center, Bold, Eat Chicago, PANA, Africans Rising, Haitian Bridge Alliance, Trans Justice Funding Project, Trans Housing Coalition, Homeless Black Trans, Women Fund, Black Trans Media, House of Pentacles, House of Tulip, Black Trans Femmes in the Arts, Brave Space Alliance, Black Visions Collective, Brooklyn Boyhood, BYP 100. So, and Dennis says, I haven't heard of any of them. Yeah, and Dennis seems like the majority of them are supportive of transgender folks rather than.
Oh, so not even the LGB.
Yeah,
Just the
I
T.
mean, it's
I
just.
just- what is that?
I'm reading the list. This is the official list.
Interesting.
Right. Poppy said hooked up all their friends.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I was saying. Like, so on Zillow here, so apparently the factory is actually going to be in Stanton, Tennessee, like the Blue Oval factory, off of 40 in Stanton. I'm sitting here looking at this map.
Well, it's Mason. I believe, is it Mason County or is it just Mason?
I think this is all
City?
still Shelby. Is it
No,
still
no, no,
Shelby?
no. It's Tipton County.
Okay, Tipton. Okay,
Yeah.
so this little map I'm looking at though, that it's gonna be right up against where the factory is gonna be, and it's $20 million for 45 acres already, and that's in
Wow.
Stanton. And then in Mason itself, someone is selling 78 acres for $4 million, for basically $5 million
Ain't that
in
something?
Mason. Remember, I said I looked and there was nothing for sale in Mason. That means the people that already bought. You know, so the people that were doing these deals or whatever, they'd already locked and loaded. Now, I wonder, will there be some kind of environmental damage behind this? So it may be best for the people to get out, to clear the way.
Let's see. Both Van Buren County and Jellicoe have a population with about 95% white people, while Mason has about 23% white people. The fact that the attempted takeover is being perpetrated only now rather than years ago when Mason's white leadership actually caused the financial issues complained of demonstrates that defendants' timing and alleged justification are neither rational nor plausible, the lawsuit states. Black majority towns are regularly disenfranchised, according to Andre Perry, a senior fellow at the Brookings Institution. Small black majority municipalities often are up against white state and county leaders who simply don't give their fellow citizens the same privileges because of the color of their skin. Perry told that to CNN. It appears Mumpower values the assets and the infrastructure of Mason more than the people. So there you have it.
Well, it's up here, look.
So the Hill family, if you notice on there, they said that Mason,
Close the
Tennessee is
microphone.
right.
Mhm.
One of the Black Factor family members had just stated that this is all close to Brownsville, Tennessee, and it's all kind of connected. Collierville, Cordova, Brownsville. She said all of it's all up in that same area.
Interesting.
Very, very interesting.
So, from what I can see, though, Mason is the only majority black town in the region. Like Arlington and Lakeland
everything
are
else
all
up
white.
that way is all white. Yeah, Lakeland, they used to have a drag strip up
I
there.
think they put up there how far something was.
What?
Are they dropping the
Yeah.
T?
Hardman County.
Let's look up. Is Brownsville a majority white?
He said, okay, yeah, Orlando says Stanton Mason. He says Hardeman County. Okay. Well, where I thought they had Tipton on there. Okay.
Well, so what I was saying was,
But all of
look
it's
at
in that same area.
Wait.
Yeah, it is. It is because if you go over further west, if you go west in there, that's when you hit Tipton County. Tipton
Look
County
at
is
this.
west.
But it's
Wait,
kind of
this-
like, South Chicago. You got that 110th G Street. Then you got Calumet City.
see,
it's
look.
all kind of in that same area.
this is where they're gonna put the Ford factory. So
Now,
it's technically in Stanton.
Lynn John makes a very good point. He says he hopes that this won't have harmful chemicals spewing out, like Aaron
probably
Brockovich
will.
type situation, causing cancer and other ailments to residents.
Well,
Because now let's keep in mind there will be a battery plant.
them electric batteries cause a lot
Oh
of
yeah,
problems.
yeah they do.
Environmental.
Well, that makes sense. They want to do it in an all-black town now.
Well,
That makes sense.
well, no, because
You
they.
can't win, can
They
you?
gonna take them out.
Well, yes,
like
that
we watch Wasteland. They're going to take them out.
technically is gonna be in Stanton, and then it's gonna. But Mason is. But see, why are
But
they
no,
trying
no,
to
no.
take
Mason, hold on. Mason is a town nearby. It's not directly where the plant is going to be.
Exactly.
It's within 10 miles. And it is said that because the highway and the train rails run through there, it's going to benefit Mason.
Now this
Right,
reminds
so people,
me.
jobs, restaurants.
There's a lawyer I follow that's from Memphis, a black man, and he said, he was like, the destruction of Memphis, basically. He wasn't saying it was planned, but
What
he was
the
like,
destruction of Memphis?
well, he was just saying the slander of Memphis, if you will, like the.
Memphis slandered itself. Stop it.
But wait, let me finish. But he said,
I live there too long. I already know how they get out.
now I don't.
I
Just,
ain't nothing to get. No disrespect, but
you're like,
man,
you know what?
come on.
They deserve it. Okay, but just the point being, he was like, Memphis is one of the only cities, probably besides New Orleans, that's got like rail, air,
Yeah, everything.
and river access.
That's true. That is
And
true.
So really, if Ford is, I don't know if they're going to use the Mississippi, but strategically it would have to come through
Yeah.
them hubs. So he pointed
trucking
it.
companies going to really be booming there. Container
Oh,
companies
yeah.
gonna
Yes.
be booming.
Everything
Well,
is-
you know, Memphis is already a major trucking hub anyway, because it's the center of the country. That's why all of them warehouses are there. That's why all that
The
stuff,
city just can't get it together.
everything,
Look,
yeah, everything.
it should be thriving.
There are a ton of warehouses. Almost everybody either works at a warehouse or they work at FedEx. That's why FedEx is there.
Yeah.
So there's no reason Memphis,
Should be
because of
in
the
Shannon.
transportation hub,
Yes.
it should have been.
Should be pop. It should
It
be
should
like
be on the poppin'.
Nashville. I mean, unless a tech company.
But you have people that are controlling the money.
Block Street.
Yeah. Yes, it's some blocking going on right here.
It's just some spam.
Yeah, we got, we get strange folks.
So yeah, the
Coming
property
through
in
here.
Stanton is like. Now I know this did not cost $20 million. Let's just say
What
10 years
didn't?
ago. In Stanton, like all these towns around Stanton, there's nothing really for sale unless you want to ditch out a couple million. But what's also interesting is Stanton is right up against a wildlife refuge.
Orlando silly. He said, "Real? You mean that car that goes down the middle of Main Street?" No, Orlando. You know it's
The population is 12.
train rails
the
go through there.
Population, it was 1,100.
The population is 1,500.
He rounded
in
it.
Maine.
1,500.
He
Okay.
rounded it down.
He rounded it down to 12.
He said it was 12 people
It's 12
of
whole
relevance.
People. Probably 12 families with 1,500 people.
Yeah.
Right, because everybody know everybody by the same
Right.
last
Well, you know, the
name.
Tennessee and Mississippi people are fertile, so they do like to. They do have. It could be all the same family.
Right.
Oh my god.
I've had to block 2 people on this thing tonight.
Really? It's cut
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. They,
Okay, one last thing though. This factory is gonna be up against a wildlife refuge.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
no.
So there's a wildlife refuge between Stanton and Brownsville, which Brownsville is directly north of
you
Stanton.
mean the wildlife refuge that used to belong to our family? The one that got divided by I-40? The one that the
Is it
government
40
took
there?
by eminent domain?
Yeah,
where we
here's
had
40.
thousands
Right
of
here.
Yeah,
acres.
it is 40.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Wow.
I
Hey,
bet
we be
you-
like them other family members that got their stuff back after 100 years.
Unless y'all
Hey.
plan on filing that you were. I mean, you can, but your papers better be in order.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
now you can do it.
Yeah, they took several hundred, probably almost a couple of thousand acres from our family Eminent domain. It's a wildlife
Now,
refuge.
how really? See,
It's a wildlife refuge
talk
right now,
about-
today. Birds.
And they put a little
So you mean
sign up.
Oh, this
dedicated to
is-
your family, right?
I don't know.
that's the other thing?
That's what they do.
I'm gonna go be a
Dennis,
Karen.
Dennis McCullum is on it. Dennis.
People being
No, that's wrong side of the family. I'm
wait,
tripping.
wait,
Huh?
The pro is that black people do not know
I
how to
don't know.
bounce off the
My,
industry. Sad, they are too jealous, and do not know how to hustle. Oh, do you need to end the stream for the radio?
Oh yeah. Oops.
We're
My camera froze.
7 minutes
Wait a minute.
over. Now look at this.
Let me-
275 acres.
Let me switch cameras here.
I too would like to be a landowner. I want to be a feudal lord.
Y'all bear with me. We got a technical glitch here. I don't know what just happened.
This is
Let's
It's
see.
all the spammers.
Is that what it is? I got spam. Too many spammers in here.
No,
They
Dennis said
spam.
Peter.
Yeah, PETA needs to. They need to have a
Yeah,
word.
find Peter, because they getting ready to take the animal. They gonna take the animals out when they sit here and build the plants and stuff.
All right.
Yeah, R.I.P. to the animals because it's a wrap.
Uh-oh.
Ain't that
Uh-oh.
sad?
We're having a few problems here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end this show. We're going to call it a night.
Well, it's been fun.
So, all right, y'all, we're going to call it a night. My camera is frozen, and we're having technicals. So this is going to do it for the evening. Just some food for thought, a little something for you to pay attention to and to think about, because we don't know what's coming next. And because we don't never know what's coming next, we just deal with what we got to deal with, and we keep it moving. But BLM, now I got a question mark for them on their behaviors and their expenditures. And then, if you live in Tennessee, you got people in Tennessee, you got property hanging around that area, do what you got to do. Handle your business. John said, technical difficulties, they don't want you dropping real knowledge.
Right. That's
Yeah.
what's happening.
Well, you know how it is, baby. You know what it is. They're going to try to shut you down
what
every
the
chance they
factory
get, man. They don't need nobody knowing what's really going on. You know, that's too much. Uh-oh. Did we lose it? All right. That's it, y'all. I want everybody to have a good night.
Good night.
We gone. We'll holler at you on the flip side, because this deal is taking a doo-doo on me.
Oh yeah, it's still frozen up here.
Yeah.
Is that YouTube doing something?
Wait a minute. Let me see something. I'm going to try something. No, it's I don't know what all it is. Hold on.
The whole thing
That
is just
crazy
like frozen.
spammer person in
Yeah,
it
it
came on the
froze up.
YouTube page.
Yeah.
Is that somebody?
Anything's
Well,
possible.
here's the person's comment. Gloria Miller.
Oh, I blocked it.
Yeah, what was she saying?
I blocked all
you
of that.
can't see what it says.
Something about Hillary Clinton and
Yeah.
Margaret
one of
Sanger.
one of them Donald Trump lovers.
like, how did you
Weirdos.
find this lady?
I think it's like bots. Honestly.
Hey, y'all know what it is. Y'all know how it go. But it's all good. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you thank you. I appreciate you tuning in. Y'all know how this go. When we start talking about stuff they don't want us talking about, we start having problems. Amazingly enough, for whatever reason. But whatever. Anyway, I want you all to have a good night.
Next week.
Tune in next week for more of this type of thing. You know how we do at the Black Factor. We're gonna get it in, y'all. I want everybody to have a good night. Have yourself a wonderful weekend, and we will see you again
Now, mother, look
on
at
next
this.
Wednesday at 7.